Move my camera. Just Hi everyone, and welcome to a live stream for OpenAbe. I have to make sure that I am not playing audio on this. Okay, there we go. Um, so I am working through the design guide for this part of the project. I'm just going to adjust my camera. What we're working on here. Um, So if you've been following me along in the archive or been watching a little frequently, just like a little housekeeping, I switched cubes, so you might see a little bit of mess behind me because I just started moving today. Um, because one of my coworkers got a new job, and congratulations to her. Um, but I've been a little bit busy, so I'm trying to stay caught up on this project. Um, so off camera, I did a little bit of thinking. Last session, I was talking to like we had Brittany, I believe we had LaDonna, and we had JR. And JR talked about the scope of the project. And I've been kind of thinking about how to take the project and work it down into something a little bit smaller. So I've changed what the goal of the lesson is. So originally, I wanted to go something that was super choice driven, something where students would pull responsibility um, or be accountable to something that wasn't themselves, and thinking that they would benefit from representing like a charity on behalf of like writing on behalf of a charity and using that kind of formal language. So I looked into the grade 7 writing requirements and kind of narrowed it down a little bit more. And even though that would be a cool project, it would have to like it would be something to design a couple lessons around, um, which is totally fine and totally cool. But right now we're focusing on a single lesson. So I've shifted that a little bit to resume, resume reflection, and helping people edit their resumes. Because one of the focuses on the grade 7 reading level, which is Crystal's reading level according to the persona that I chose, um, is eliminating wordiness and sorting out language so that it's being used in the proper formality, especially in like a formal situation like with a resume and that kind of thing. So the focus is still going to be hopefully providing context and helping students prepare for the real world by helping them develop good habits for writing at least some elements of their resume, um, and taking that and editing others and either giving them a couple of tips for how people can take advantage of what the learners have learned and using them as a source. It's like, hey, take a look at my resume for me before I do a job posting or something like that. Or if they're a parent and their kid gets up to the age where it's like, well, I'm starting to look for just like a part-time job to get a little bit of money or help out the family or something like that, then they can do that second look at a resume. So I'm going to work through the document. It is a large document, and I'm going to tweet out that I'm actually live now. We're live. For OpenAbe. So if you're in the chat and you want to say hello, great. Otherwise, I'm going to work through this document, and it's probably not going to be the super exciting stream. So I need thanks for dropping in, Brittany. safe travels home. Don't know. My goal is to get this all done before or at least get a draft of it all done before I go. Develop a title that is succinct and efficiently effective. So, at least for now, I'm going to give myself a working title of eliminating wordiness. Title should be fewer than 12 words, should not contain abbreviations or words that do not serve a purpose. When writing your lesson, please keep a few. So I'm going to remove this lesson abstract there and talk about the abstract. Students learners okay, so I just realized on this live stream that because I'm live streaming, me agonizing over every single word is going to be magnified by like 1,000 times, so I'm sorry. So in this, what we want is so learners review some common faults pitfalls come writing a resume job application. These faults will be focused around wordiness, and lack formal tone. Captain of Stars, hello. What we have here is a design guide that is used in the OpenAbe course as kind of like a uniform document, so that everybody that's participating in this online course can work with others in the course, see what everybody's getting at with their lesson, and then attach it to the lesson materials so that whenever somebody goes to use the open lessons that are produced from this project, they're able to get a thorough understanding of the lesson, the materials, and anything that's included, like assessments or things like that. So this design document was provided by the course facilitators, so that's what I'm working through for this lesson. So hopefully that clears up that question. If not, let me know, and I'll see if I can answer those questions. Awareness and lack of formal tone. And if you are in OpenAbe, this is in Module 4. learners work through examples or provided examples. Context of helping those writers. Design. Helping those job seekers develop and improve their resume. So in here, I need to go through our college readiness standards. So I need the outcome. This fits within a larger study and the academic curriculum. So this is aimed at grade 7. So this was matched, at least with the Common Core LCCR3, that much I know. That was less than relevant to what the target audience needed to be able. The process. Editing and improving these sample resumes. And then develop your own resume writing skills. So the nice thing about a resume is that almost everybody's got to get one. So hopefully that provides like enough of a context. Don't go to a college. I work at UPenn in Canada. OpenAbe is a global online course that is primarily yeah, I'm up in Canada right now. So the learner audience is adults, learners, adult education, intended audience, primarily users, as we've mentioned. Okay, so primary user, just gonna make a little subheading for learner audience, adult education, and 7 students. Working on students. Literacy levels. Job focused. So I'm just going to go through, and this is basically going to be a draft that I'm going to go through and tidy up. I'm just putting down my thoughts in each one of these for now. And then primary users, because those are set by OER Commons. OER Commons is a collective hub for open education resources, OER. So as we make these lessons, the ideal situation is that they get used in some of the classrooms where adult learners are. And OER Commons will hopefully make it easier for the teachers that need these materials to find them. So maybe teacher, student. I'm just going to leave it as curriculum and instruction. I'd like to include a couple of examples for formative assessment, but since it's pretty open, I'd rather have the instructor provide feedback on it than talk about like what are acceptable lies and that kind of stuff. I only speak English and Gaelic, and I don't think, well, learner level Gaelic, and I don't think that anybody is going to be doing that in the United States. I don't think there are many places that accept Gaelic resumes in the United States. So assessments, of course, games, homeworks and assignments, images, illustrations, lesson plans, module, primary sources, readings, reference, resource reviews, simulations, student guide, syllabi, teaching and learning strategies, textbooks, unit of study, video lectures. I have some additional resources that I made for resume writing whenever I was doing support for career services. You can speak Estonian, Captain of Stars? Are you from Estonia? Because if so, you guys have the rockinest flag. I love it so much. It's beautiful, beautiful blue. And then black and white in a flag, that's awesome. I'm going to leave this blank for now because I'm going to say that the formative materials that I want to include, you're from Estonia. That's awesome. That's really cool. Further north than I am right now. I am Prince Edward Island, which is 42 degrees parallel, I want to say. Might be 46. Selecting the material type. So some keywords here are going to be wordiness is what? So if we're just formal language, resume. You also speak Russian. That is pretty cool. Like I said, all I have is Gaelic. I can read a little bit of French, enough to like parse meaning and that kind of stuff, but that you just get that from living in Canada. But I'm definitely not a polyglot like you. Time required for lesson. Part 2 of the design guide. So I have to go through guided practice evaluation. So most of this is going to be, so I don't think that there's any warm-up. I'm going to have to run through the materials and that kind of thing also once this is done. So an introduction. So we're not going to have, so I'm going to do an open Google slideshow. So anybody with the link will be able to download it, comment on it. Can be downloaded. And we'll provide a PDF version in the lesson. So this will go through, and we'll say that this is going to take 5 minutes for the 5 minutes or 10 minutes for each. We can talk about tailored resume. We'll see. 5 minutes. And again, this is going to be furthermore, this is going to be a continuation of that. Look at 15 to go through. It's 20 minutes. Through example. Formative feedback. Maybe the evaluation is a ticket door. Their own career objective statement. So that's 5, 20. So we add more guided practice. That's 60 minutes. I can tell you Canada is a good place to teach if you can get in. I did a couple of weeks in the school system. I did a Bachelor of Education here in Canada, which is pretty focused on getting into the school system. But I decided to go with post-secondary education learning support. So I am an instructional designer here at UPI. I work with mostly online courses, but I have family that are teachers in the school system, friends that are teachers in the school system. And yeah, doing something like art, IT, or architecture would be good. Hello, LaDonna. Thank you for dropping in. I'm just working through my big design guide. The time required for lesson is 60 minutes. So target skills is professional writing, resume writing. Employability. this. Learner should be able to knowledge, language, understand, use, context. Express experience qualifications. Precisely and concisely. Recognizing. So learning objectives here are kind of the contextualized ones that we have from the college readiness standards. Are you in the course, Amalthea? I don't know how to pronounce your pseudonym with any degree of confidence. I don't know if it's Amalthea or Amalthea or something completely different. So I always butcher your pseudonym, and I'm sorry. But yeah, I totally ended up doing the exact same. Yeah, that was me the last time that it ran. And then I conned Brittany into joining us, or joining me for this course. And I think we've both been pretty good at keeping it pretty obvious. Oh, it's from the last unicorn. So yeah, I definitely would not be doing this if I didn't have the streaming obligation that I set up with Brittany and having a partner going through this course. But even here, it's a little bit difficult. And also, I've gotten busy because the other instructional designer here at UPI got a new job, so I'm the only one handling that while we hire a new one, which will probably not happen until sometime in January. So. Learning objectives define the desired learning outcome of your instruction by clarifying the skills and knowledge. Focus on writing objectives that are space measurable. So these can probably be developed a bit more. But we're going to go through the rest of the guide first. And we'll get feedback. Oh, God. See, I've been avoiding going to the curriculum document because I closed all my tabs and now I need to get the grade level. So I have to yeah, and that's That's totally fair. Um, I don't know what my project idea even was first time around. I didn't have anything to latch onto. Here I've changed like 4 or 5 times. Um, but I think for me, it's been more about streaming the process and working on my skills as an instructional designer. Um, which it hasn't been particularly a beautiful, a particularly beautiful display of skills since I would say I'm still very new to instructional design, and working the way that I have been working hasn't been really consistent with any frameworks or anything like that. And it's hard to do it live, but where's the grade level? I'm just looking to get the college career readiness standards. This is my PDF. And I just need to find so this is C, grade level C. This is English language arts or literacy. CRR Anchor 3. So this is under language strand. Reading and writing. So this is CCR Anchor 3. Using language, knowledge of language and its conventions when writing, speaking, reading, or listening. And choose words and phrases to convey ideas precisely. Sorry, I haven't been talking. So I'm only using some of these substandards. Differentiate between contexts that call for formal English, situations where informal discourse is appropriate. So part of the plan is to correct informal tone in a resume, and expand, combine, and reduce sentences for meaning reader, listener interest, and style, because that's super, super important in a resume, is selling yourself in a very concise, punchy way that doesn't obfuscate your experience or your skills. And letting you get more of your qualifications in a readable, easily to remember manner that will hopefully help make your resume clear for employers. The prior knowledge summary is going to be a little bit difficult for me. And hopefully this is where I can just see what others have done for this. So the required resources for this either access to the student slideshow, or print it and print. So the way I'll do this is I'll set up a slideshow for students, which instructors can either download as a PDF. I'll also provide a PDF. And they can either print it, or if they have access to a computer or mobile device, they can view it through the internet. The resume example sheets, same thing. And then I'll also include a video tutorial for instructors on how to copy the materials so that students can work in a Google Doc or something like that, if they have access to that. Otherwise, that should be fine. This is my name. This is the one I can fill out confidently. Type of Creative Commons license. CC BY. Captain of Stars. Don't know if you are familiar with Creative Commons license. CC BY is a creative license, which means that users can come across this lesson. They can see it. They aren't required to pay money for it. They can take the lesson and they can remix it, create their own derivatives of it. All they have to do is say, hey, this is where I got this lesson. It's just attribution. It's a super light license, and that's part of the point of the project. is to provide easy to access lesson materials for adult basic education. Writing the instructional strategies and activities. Let me take a look at the view list. I love Creative Commons also. It is the best. I usually go like a little bit more sinister route with my Creative Commons, and put on the share alike tag just so that any derivatives that they have to make, go into Creative Commons also. Not going to do that here. They requested the most open license, and that's cool. I'm going to sit down and do this off camera. This part of the design guide. So I'm just going to have a how to copy lesson and worksheet. I'm just going to put that link on YouTube. So one of the things that I'm going to mention here as a reference, not just like taking stuff from Resume, is that our e-learning office is in this really weird mishmash of student services that are available on campus, and one of those aspects is the our career services is here. So we have career counselors and career practitioner. So I've worked with them and created some materials with them, just with my background in creating videos and things like that. And helping them kind of put together some of their materials in our learning management system. So with this, what I'm going to do is ultimately going to take some of the things that I've learned from that, and some examples and tips that I've learned for writing resumes and that kind of stuff, and include it in the resume. And I'm going to work with them a little bit more to help develop that, and turn it hopefully into a good use of the students' time. Yeah, Creative Commons audio is, it's really hard to get good audio in the Creative Commons. Like, it's getting better, but starting out, whenever that was like first just like music that was in the public domain and that kind of stuff, is brutal. I remember that. But it is always an issue. So the only career resources that I would really like to use at this point would be the ones that I've worked with our career counselors to create in 2014. Because I created some documents for that. But I don't know if we put those in Creative Commons, so I'm not going to put those here yet. Because I know that some of the stuff, since it's, some of the stuff is intended for particularly a UPI audience and has UPI branding and that kind of stuff. So original. I'm not probably going to use very much public domain content that's no longer covered by copyright. 1946 in Canada. All right, so got to start on the design guide. I know Brittany will probably take a look at this later, so if you haven't started your design guide yet, get cracking. I'm going to clean this up and we can compare notes once I flesh this out a little bit more. But I think it's a little bit of a start. It's a lot less scary of a document after I've gone through it. Definitely have some more things to work on, but it's a start, and I'm feeling a lot better about my lesson now. So I'm going to call things here. We're about 45 minutes in, I think. So maybe I'll pause for a question or anything like that, if anybody in the chat. Anybody in the chat has any questions? If anything that anybody wants to see. Whenever I finish this document, actually what I'll do is whenever I finish this document and I have the archive up on YouTube, I'll have the link in the description. So you can see like the final project. It clears up some of the, so is this document, this is something that they shared so that anybody that's working on a project has a universal kind of format and will give us something kind of to compare notes with as we review the projects going into week 5. And then this probably isn't as filled out as it should be at this point in the course, but I'm going to fill it up a little bit more, and then maybe a little bit later this week or early next week or something like that, I'll go through some of the changes that I've made once I've sit down and work through some things not live, because I know the camera kind of I like this. I like this format. So it's pretty cool. It would be interesting to hear about the history of this document. And yeah, I'm definitely stealing a copy of this and going to think about it in a post-secondary education context and that kind of thing. Because it might be cool to talk about this guide for any university prof that has done a lecture that they want to share with in the open, something that they felt cool with and would like to share with others. I know that a lot of that stuff can be interesting. Some maybe that might be something cool. But either way, I think it'd be a good experience, and like looking at this context and revamping it for post-secondary and seeing if I could create something that would be useful for faculty. Yeah. Thank you very much for showing up and participating in chat. I know that I don't do text chat as much as I do question and response, but it's really nice to have somebody here and not just feel like you're speaking at the void. So I really, really appreciate you showing up. So this is where I'm leaving it for now. We'll have a check back in sometime after tomorrow's live session. So if you're participating in the course, don't forget that there's a live session Thursday, well, depending on where you are in the world, if you're in North America, Thursday, November 17th. Email's gone out. I know that I will try and watch that. And thanks again. Have a good day.